Howdy, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I was saying earlier I had a really late dinner. Not intended. That's what happened. Here. Got 20 likes already. Holy shit. That's what? 275 total for everyone? Right away? $170. So it's 225 plus the 50 credits to start. Last we left our hero. We're in the middle of testimony for the worst client anybody's ever had. And I'm not looking forward to continuing with this. Will obviously be just incredibly prejudicial testimony. That's true, Rand. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to work, I am. But that also means that I'm basically late for everything else because work takes precedence. It means if I work late, then it means I have to eat dinner late, which means stream gets pushed back. How's everybody? Let's see. Man, JB, Pizarro, Beth, Lugia, Nathan, Zara, Yen, Sarah, Lynch, Trep, National Football Channel, Logan, Ventus, Muted, Dog, Siona. Yeah, he is the worst. He could have been a puppet, that's true, or a clown. Deadly, what's up? I mean, I'm late too, so don't worry about it. Oh, did I say it with an R? Sorry about that, Paisano. Awesome, what's up? All right. My first case, it was a case in which a father who was already in prison, there was already a child in need of protection or services order in place, meaning that the government had already placed his kids somewhere else because something happened with the mom. I don't know what happened with the mom. She might have died or something. Anyways, mom wasn't in the picture. So kid had to go live with foster family. And the county wanted to move something that happens whenever kids are out of home is what are called permanency plans every 6 months, where the there's a review on what's going on. Essentially, the judge kind of wants an update, and the county, the social worker, and the corp counsel attorney will give that update, and then they'll state two goals. The primary goal and the backup goal. And then the parents have a right to object to any change in the goals or just any of the goals in general. So, for example, in most cases, you'll see first option is reunification. First goal is reunification with the parents. Second option will be something like guardianship, adoption, something in which the parents do not get their kids back ultimately. So there was a permanency hearing where the father who was in prison was challenging a change where the goals were flipped. Adoption became the primary goal, and reunification became the secondary goal, and he didn't want that to happen. So he challenged it, and so my first court case was actually a mini trial. It's called a contested hearing. You don't call it a trial because it's not as full blown. The rules are a little more lax, and it's because you're not dealing with the initial onset of the CHIPS order, because you're just dealing with a permanency plan change. So they don't grant a full blown trial for it, but you still have witnesses and testimony and cross-examination and arguments and that sort of thing. So that was my first case. That was nerve-wracking to have my first case be, oh, go do this mini trial. Oh, okay. Okay. And let me tell you, when a parent is in prison and can't be around the kid, it's very difficult for them to argue about any changes. And they're going to be there for a while longer. It's not like he was, about ready to get out. So, yeah. That was my first case. I was appointed. He didn't hire me. I was appointed by the juvenile court judge. It's kind of like public defense, but private attorneys get that work instead of the public defender's office. So you get private attorneys for the rate of public defenders. Yeah, hope that answered your question. And I talked about this earlier. You can't, in my jurisdiction at least, in Wisconsin, you can't take a murder case until you have a certain amount of experience. Judges generally will not let you do that unless you're like in the boonies or something and it's a matter of resources. What's up, Metal Mario? Yeah, this game is like a 4.8 or 4.8 or 4.9 on the mobile. It's got really good reviews. Hey, Volpe. What character would I be? I don't know. Somebody competent, I would think. No. Well, actually, I'm not sure. Orphans generally refer to you being a person who's not an adult, but is not in the custody of your parents or some sort of guardian. Once you're an adult, are you an orphan anymore, or do you kind of just you still carry that title for the rest of your life? It depends on what the technical definition would be for orphan. If it's just you don't have parents, then yeah, you would always be. Specifically refers to children, its definition, then yeah, once you're an adult, you can't possibly be an orphan anymore. Because you're not a child. All right, so one thing real quick, sorry, I know we delayed even further. So I was asked to take another day from my nephew tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing that. Which means I'm going to get like no sleep tonight. I'm going to cut about an hour off of tonight's stream. It's going to be about a 3-hour stream instead of the usual 4-ish hour stream. But I didn't want to cancel stream, so we'll just be ending a little earlier, and then I gotta go back and do some more work, and then I gotta hopefully get like a few hours sleep before tomorrow. So, sorry if I seem a little ragged. It's just this week's been busy already. All right. So the judge has been staring intently. It seems that there were issues with this doctor. Hold on. God, I'm glad that was muted. That was super loud. You guys probably heard that in the background. I gotta figure out if there's a way that I can like set default volume for certain programs, because a lot of this stuff always reverts back to where it was before, and it's so annoying because I gotta change it every time. Where I always want it at the same volume. Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor. That's too low. Lucky, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo. Back straight. But why did this mistake only come to light that day? It was found during the family health checkup. The family checkup? That was the wackest thing of all those G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away, bzoy! A relief to hear. What's the relief? Oh, did your father not tell you? Sorry, trying to get the... There? Yeah, that seems good. Yeah, game audio. Oh, you didn't hear it in the background? That's weird. I thought my mic would have picked it up because of how loud it was. Why are you apologizing for that? Oh, you're just sorry to hear about my situation. There, yes, from what now I'm not a doctor, but from what I understand, there are some situations where waiting to pull the bullet out is better for your mortality than if they were to just take it out right away. I don't really know what the circumstances of that would be, but I've heard the same thing that you've heard. All right, later, Dudley Bubble. Thanks for hanging, dude. I don't know. If Adamski's here, he could probably chime in. Yeah, I'm assuming the location's a big makes a big difference. I would also think it depends on what kind of bullet it is, because some like spread more than others, right? Like slugs compared to I don't know what the ones that spread are called. I would think that might have something to do with it too. There are patients stable enough with bullets in their hearts. Risk concealing what the bullet is. Nope. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not telling him you left the bullet, and there is definitely malpractice. Yo, what's up, Gamers Unite? Hollow points, those are the other ones. It does sound like a nerve-wracking procedure. I'll be right back. I gotta let my dog. Apollo has to drink Coke, right? I'd be so disappointed if I found out that he enjoys Pepsi more.
That bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you.
Well, any bullet left could kill you, depending. What?
Yes. Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life.
No way, that's whacked.
There is proof. Your checkup report. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started.
Started?
You've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Yeah, time to hear from the witness.
Bucky sure is quiet all of a sudden.
I'm a little uneasy myself.
Is Gavin's strategy?
Oh my. Okay. Just randomly saying shit. Like Godot. What was delayed? Hey, Tomek. How's it going? Ed Robert. Yeah, you just didn't tell him anything. Oh, Ace Attorney 7. Oh, I didn't see that in the hack. I saw that they were localizing the Great Ace Attorney series, but I didn't see anything about the 7th game. That's cool. That's fine with me because I still have to get through Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice anyways. That's probably going to take at least 6 months. So, yeah. Oh, the schedule. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't check. I didn't look at the schedule. Interesting. It's, yeah, somebody, they were hacked, right? Like, somebody actually went in and grabbed it and then released the information. It's not like somebody in Capcom was like, here's the story. All right, I gotta drink some water for this guy. Think about Edgeworth times 10. That's gonna be this guy.
So, will you tell us your name and occupation?
Oh my God. My name is Wesley Stickler.
By occupation, I take it you mean profit, stranger at large, and supports on which definition I must confess. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of identity, which is commonly attached to the notion of occupation, and once we have accepted this reality, we see that our confusion is not stolen per se, but of the vagueness inherent in all of our representation.
By which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my...
Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today. Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime.
You ask quite simplistically what I saw. Understand that Homo sapiens possess two eyes. He's designed to receive and read data, sending images...
It's a wonder Phoenix didn't turn out like this. How often does a real lawyer go between cases? In these games, they seem to go 1 to 3 months between cases. That's purely... Okay, I won't say it's purely, but that's really just... Okay, I won't say that because I'm not sure about what the caseload generally looks like in Japan. In the United States, a lawyer at any point in time can be juggling anywhere from 5 cases to 50 cases. Just depends on what they do. And the heaviness of all the cases. Cause one murder case is probably worth the time of 20 misdemeanors? Just very basic misdemeanors, if I had to guess, in terms of the time you're putting in. So yeah, it's in the United States, if somebody is doing what Phoenix is doing, it means they're either getting paid extremely well every case so that they only work on one at a time, or they're just not getting a lot of business. Have I ever sued anybody? I've never had a reason to. Well, that's not true. That's actually not true. I've had people not pay me several times, and when that happens, you have the ability to go to collections and sue them for a judgment of the money that they owe you. But when you're younger, you're a younger attorney, you're kind of encouraged to not do that because you could end up getting a reputation around your region of being someone that's gonna stiff you out of money, which is dumb, right? Because it's I did what I was supposed to do. They're the ones that didn't pay me, but apparently that's a thing. So my business partner and I haven't gone to collections before in an attempt to garner goodwill in the area. It hasn't happened a lot to me, though. Only a few times. I think he had to have some cases in between, the games at least. But the thing is that Phoenix is only taking murder cases, right? They're about reputation in that unless you're a personal injury or divorce attorney, advertising doesn't really seem to work all that well other than reviews, online reviews, and word of mouth in general. But yeah, I mean, it matters the same as any business reputation does. If your business has a shit reputation, you're not gonna get as much business. Unless you're like McDonald's, because you're so big it doesn't matter. Very few law firms are like that. Exactly, Adamski. Phoenix should be a very popular attorney for people to be going to based on what he's done and like his success rate, which is astonishing. If this were real life, even in Japan, he would be very highly sought after and very wealthy at this point. Yeah, that's what I heard. The two middle cases are and that the first and fourth cases are the best. I don't really let that cloud my judgment, though. I've had some differing opinions in Danganronpa cases, for example, from what some of the more popular thoughts are. Sometimes, not all the time.
That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. When I saw them quite clearly, the man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand, he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. Book close. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead.
Oh, God. This guy. When people say the case is meh, I don't think they're saying that it's bad. They're just not saying it's good or bad. Like it's middling, average. Just maybe unexciting. Yeah, and you know, that's really good. That's one of the first things I noticed, Adamski. I'm like, man, so he didn't get the respect he deserved until after he stopped being a lawyer. Like, that's some musician or like artist shit, right? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, JB. Hopefully you didn't get it from him, if he does have it. Just hearing of it means that you're pretty well known, though. Was there anyone else in the park at that time?
I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not.
The pistol our witness refers to is this. The court accepts this into evidence. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness. Yes, Your Honor. Trucy? Why are you staring like that at the witness?
That man. I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before.
Alright, let's look at the evidence we have so far. Oh god, I forgot. I totally forgot about that. Well, should I go through the whole dog and pony dance, or should I already call out what's wrong? Which is that he was shot in the forehead. That completely changes the trajectory, unless the dude turned his head, which is possible. On the way home from shopping, you say? Why go through the park?
Oh, fascinating inquiry, revealing me culpable of being insufficiently verbose. Let us consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes, 24 seconds. Ergo, the time to complete 2 is on average 6 minutes. However, in the case that the questions are in the verbal category, admittedly not my...
That's enough. I get the idea. Mr. Justice, the court hopes to finish cross-examination sometime this month. Please, I have a recording booked after this trial. That's your fucking problem. That sounds like a personal problem you will have to deal with. Judge is gonna be like, well, that was a stupid fucking thing to do, isn't it?
I've got a show to perform.
Gee, sorry you're all so busy. Yeah, what a fucking moron. The judge would literally look at him like,
I'm assuming that was a joke, Attorney Gavin.
were these men talking by any chance?
Now that you mention it, they were, though I cannot claim I heard them clearly. Only fragments such as, "You lied to me." Oh, and "I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, pal."
It's just as our defendant claims. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet in the heart. If that's true, then this is a vital piece of testimony.
Sounds like he heard them clearly enough to me.
Might I be allowed to amend my testimony?
What now?
To be precise, he did not say pal, but man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear it on my diploma.
Wait, I thought he said he was a student. I guess he could be a grad student, and he's talking about his undergraduate diploma, in which case, who fucking cares? What's the difference? And this other man, who was he? He's the new Ash. This is all his dream after getting struck by lightning. Yeah, Trucy does not have to be here. She's not adding anything right now. A 15-year-old could not... you have to be an attorney in order to be co-counsel. She would just be an assistant who's at the table, which is very rare. I don't think I've ever seen a non-client or non-attorney sit at the table. Like, I've seen paralegals shuffle in and out to provide, like, different documents that the attorney is awaiting, but that's it. What is a GMAT? I'm pretty sure that's the business, like, master's program, right? Or finance? One of the two. Or wait, is GMAT the doctor, the medical test? Would a judge toss her out? It's not that he would toss her out, but she probably wouldn't be allowed to sit at the table. She could sit in the gallery. Murder trials are generally open to they're public records, so they're open. Anybody can go in and sit in on them. Hey, what's up, Jake? Yeah, lucky Larry. Sorry, I need to check this. I'm gonna feel like a Dumas. Yeah. MBA program. Yep. Masters of Business. That's right. What's the, I don't remember what the medical physician test is. Okay. I did feel bad, but then Beth said, "Oh shit," and then I didn't feel so bad anymore. Oh, that's funny. How can you be so sure it was the defendant?
I mean, have you looked at that guy before?
The crime took place at night. It had to. It would have to be too dark. It would have been too dark.
Perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning this earlier.
Huh?
You see, in class, I only sit in the very backmost seat. Do you know why?
Who cares?
Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes.
Perfect notes.
And this relates to your testimony, how?
I mention this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say, yet there are lights in the park. If I saw that, say, the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is a hard, immutable fact.
He sure is confident. He seems to be telling the truth, too.
Oh, he seems to be telling the truth, too. It could be that way in Japan. I'm actually not sure. These are like really like minor things. Not minor things, but like details that you really have to dig into their legal system to find out. Like what their rules of regarding co-counsel are. No idea. Because as you pointed out, the defense does, but the prosecution never does. Are you sure the pistol you saw is the same as the one just submitted as evidence?
Am I sure? Surely you jest. Or so a common witness would be tempted to say. Huh? Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but the logical structure governing these events. First, we must consider the fact that it was the night in the park in which my field of vision due to insufficient levels of illumination. Now, if we consider that the pistol that is called Object A was in darkness, it becomes difficult to say certainly that Object A was indeed Object A.
I think he means you couldn't see it that clearly. Damn it!
I think you didn't see it that clearly.
I did Maya for a second. My badge for a normal witness.
Yet the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon.
I'm just. Ooh, if that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing, I see, Herr Justice? Ahem. Objection! Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice.
Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet.
Right, look at this. The autopsy report. Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Is it not updated? Right, a problem. Yes, the problem is the location of the entry wound. The location? You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not?
I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I do not mean the geometric. What I mean is this. For example, the deflection of a... Good lord. Wavelength of the light emitted by a kryptonite... What? Kryptonite particle?
Mr. Justice. Yes? Was your objection to these, krypton particle things? This is the big time and you're obsessed with something so small, you disappoint me. No, I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here. Do tell. Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple.
Temple?
Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? Is it right? Finally. Objection! Herr Justice, oh, Herr Justice. Yes? Your tactics are outdated, trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. Phoenix Wright, was it? Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to this testimony. Hey, had forehead. Forehead? Let us imagine you are walking through the park. You see the two men facing each other, one with the pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Herr Forehead? Well, I guess I would try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!" And you, Fräulein?
Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eat!"
And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder? Ah! The victim turned his head at the last moment.
Oh, yes, thank you for jogging my memory.
Sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required.
As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Cease this at once, you two! I cried with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
Oh yeah, I would have objected to what Gavin did. Okay, so getting a witness to in the direction of jogging their memory is not an illegal tactic. When you're when leading is when you are your line of questioning is leading them to only one answer. Because you are leading or guiding them to that answer, as opposed to leaving it open-ended or more open, at least like even like a yes or no fashion for the defendant. So I'd have to go back and look at it. I'm not sure it was entirely leading. I think it was debatable. I'd have to go back and look at it again. I would probably object to it as leading, yeah. It's just I'm not sure if I would actually prevail on that objection. But if it's like that, you know, if it's a 50-50 thing like that, then you definitely object to it and just see what the judge says. I mean, I'd say that's a strong hypothesis, JB. What, this one? Like, what is he doing? Yeah, I haven't watched the live action yet. I'll have to check that out. So that's one thing that I've kind of harped on these games about. In the US at least, which the Japanese system is different. Apparently that was weird. Stream went off and on. Apparently in the Japanese system, it is lying is expected. In the US system, if you lie too often, you impeach yourself, and at that point you're considered discredited, and that without being able to cure your impeachment, which is very difficult to do, you're basically assumed to not be trustworthy. So not much. You are not given all that much leeway. God, what is my monitor's acting weird. I mean, the stream looks fine. It's just my monitor keeps doing weird things. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to
recreate what just happened, so I have a better idea of why that's happening. I want the stream cutting out. Yeah, I mean... Maybe I'll just have to get a new monitor soon. Oh no! That would be terrible! This monitor is like 10 years old. It could just be starting to go out. Yo, what's up, Coulter? Expected of witnesses, apparently. I thought it was just defendant 2. What did I say? Oh yeah, I didn't give... $25. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Coulter. That's just really shitty. Like the font. See, but like hitting it, like I would think that would get it to flicker and stuff too, but it's not. I don't know why that. Whatever. Anyways, there is a different way impeachment of a witness, meaning they're discrediting them or their maintenance of credibility is handled versus the way the U.S. does. The U.S. is a lot. It seems like the U.S. is a lot harsher on a witness contradicting themselves. If that makes sense. In fact, just as an example, one of the first things I was asked to do when I was an intern for Corp Counsel, there was when I first got there, they were involved in like several trials, so they really needed help in like getting some of these little details together for their cases. And so one of the first things that was assigned to me is there was this witness. He wasn't like the person that. I don't even think he was one of the parents in the case. I just think he was a witness, just a person who had seen something he was going to be a witness for to the benefits of the respondents in the case. And they had me look up the entirety of his criminal history, because one way that you can impeach somebody in a situation like that is to say, how many times have you been charged with a felony? And this guy had been charged with numerous crimes. And something as small as he was off by like 1 would have allowed what it does is missing the 1 part doesn't necessarily discredit him completely, but him being wrong allows for impeachment, which allows the prosecution in that case, again, that wasn't criminal court, so they're not really the prosecution. It allows them to go into every one of his crimes, which then once you've done that and you've had that history, all of a sudden any jury that's listening to it's like, oh God, this guy's a scumbag. Would I ever listen to him? Impeachment is bad. You do not want your witness to be impeached. Woo, 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 woo. I have thankfully never had that happen to me. Generally because I tend to be overly cautious with witnesses that I believe are very likely to be unable to testify in a way that would be beneficial to us. I'll take
I'm somebody who will generally take risks with the client, but not with the with like just a witness, because I think the payoff for clients that when those risks pay off really well compared to just a random witness that could suddenly, make you, it could hurt more than it could help, sort of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, just think about it this way. Witness testimony is technically evidence. But when it comes to, like, when people talk about evidence in the real world, people don't even, I think the general public doesn't even consider testimony to be evidence. That gives you an idea of how not reliable it's considered. But sometimes that's all you have in these cases, so that it has to be weighed accordingly. And that's when credibility really comes into play. Because people are like, well, we have to rely on the evidence, and yet relying just on, or we have to rely on the testimony mostly because there's not a lot of evidence of other kinds, so now we really have to weigh these words more than maybe we'd like because there's just nothing else to go on. I mean, witnesses can give decisive testimony. What would be considered decisive testimony? The difference is that these games in general really overuse the word decisive. That's something that it almost just seems like it's a tactic used by the prosecution as a way of throwing off the defense. The problem is they use it too much, and then it's just like, yeah, sure, just like your last one was decisive. Roll eyes. Can be legal to carry a sword around. Did not know that. Some places in California. I know Wisconsin is very lenient when it comes to owning exotic animals. I believe you are allowed to own a kangaroo here. I'd have to double check that. But there are some very wide-ranging laws on the owning of exotic animals, and I just know that my state is one of the more lenient ones when it comes to ridiculous pets. I see, so you attempted to stop the crime.
Indeed, with composure.
Oh, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that.
That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it? Stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. The killer were to have fired at just that moment. As we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report. Then I would ask, why did he testify he saw the dude get shot in the forehead? I feel like if his head was turned, he would very obviously not have been shot in the forehead. That does seem to be the case.
Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science.
Oh, he is an undergrad. He's a fucking undergrad. He has no diploma unless he's talking about his high school diploma. Shouldn't even be wearing that graduate outfit. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness. Not really. Both of those are not, neither of those I would consider legal terms anyways. It's just something that people say, and there isn't really that big of a difference between those two terms. Like, you wouldn't be in court and say, and somebody, and I would go, this is conclusive evidence, and suddenly it triggers a whole bunch of legal mechanisms. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that suddenly the jury, the judge has ruled it conclusive evidence. Now we must look at this differently. It's just something you'd say. It doesn't actually have an effect other than you're trying to emphasize how important the evidence is. Hey, Lime. No worries. Good luck on your test. In theory, it does, Sarah, but I don't think it always does. That would be a very fancy high school uniform graduation. Maybe, no, I don't think is it that fancy in Japan? Not that I remember. That doesn't surprise me. So you saw a raised pistol. Aren't you frightened? It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action. That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot. Huh? You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind. Dude just realized it.
He actually looks like he had no idea he was in danger.
Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed.
I actually believe him, because if he's that taken aback that, oh my god, what do you mean I could have gotten shot? Trying to throw me off, plebeian. It does a very interesting design. Look at those full lips and super long eyelashes. You got pretty eyes, I can't even lie. That's just, those are just pretty eyes. Very, very, very attractive eyes. I love the way he flutters them. It's like he knows. He knows. I know I have.
I know I have gigantic lashes.
Bet.
Since this I want you to, I cried with composure.
Obviously, didn't realize that you could die. Are you sure both men were able to hear your voice?
They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park.
And the victim responded to that clarion call?
Quite.
Quite really. Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned?
Indeed, I would say about the same time, to be precise.
That's not precise at all. And the victim didn't ask you for help?
It can be said he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step.
I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him.
Don't say that too loud, Trucy, please. Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly?
He seemed quite surprised, especially considering it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed.
He simply couldn't believe what he had done. He shocked, he panicked, a common tale but true.
Unfortunately, before I could take further action,
Oh, my friend texted me something about that today. He's like getting ready for the potential of epileptic seizures. I'm like, holy shit, really? Like, it's that bad in the game? Yikes. That's unfortunate.
Oh, I see.
Interesting. It was just an unfortunate byproduct of the design choice, as opposed to negligent programming.
Didn't try to apprehend the criminal?
It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time.
Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo?
What?
The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away.
According to the testimony, that's what happened, yes?
In that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't find.
Find something? Find what?
I like that contradiction. Kinda sad to see it go.
Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now?
At least the testimony's getting a little clearer.
She's right. Maybe I can find something to use in this new testimony. What? Finding a bullet? Or the bullet casing is she talking about? This one isn't as obvious, I think. Oh God. Damn it. Juicy's funny. Got the fingerprints here. Two rounds were fired. Oh my God. Trucy, what are you doing? Magic guns. He said one shot rang out, but there are two shots that were fired. Now, I'm not sure. Do I challenge this statement where it says a shot rang out? Because you said only one shot rang out. Or do you challenge this statement, which concludes that no other... The implication here is that no other shots were fired. It shoots unicorns. My gut's telling me it's the other one, but let's try this one just because this is what they were kind of focusing on. Objection! Yep. Game logic. Wait a second.
This tis another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse you can't see how it affects you. Come again? Wait a second, you say? A second? Are we intended to wait just that? A single second? 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes... Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor? Am I to understand you were objecting to the length of a second? Yes, I mean, no. Here, just look at this. Look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. Ah, common ploy made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Oh yeah, it said that the fingerprints are wiped. I didn't even think about that. I think both of those parts of his testimony were problematic. Because if he was in a rush, how would he have been able to wipe his fingerprints after dropping the gun? Yeah. That is stronger, seems to be stronger evidence, at least at first glance, than he shot twice and I only heard one. I heard him shoot once, but the gun says it was shot twice. Wait, but you said the tiller cost the gun is what I was going to say. But you said the killer tossed the gun and ran.
That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for Prince.
Did I just cast Exodia on that dude?
The little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there.
I'm not little.
Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fräulein? Eh? What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves?
I'd admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo.
Well, Mr. Justice, could the killer have been wearing gloves?
Could the killer have been wearing gloves? No. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remain, which contradicts your testimony. If everything happens as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol.
That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapons from his hand and fled. And that this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of.
That sounds solid to me. Well, Herr Forehead, any of your precious objections?
That does not sound solid at all. Making your logical leap there.
What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training and go to work.
You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say.
What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said?
Huh? Isn't what obvious?
When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Walkie drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Walkie threw away.
You're right. Why doesn't Trucy needs to be the attorney? She's better than Apollo.
He's just confused because a pistol was found at the scene. Or Mr. Stickler, it must be hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong.
Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. Well, it is indeed the truth that is seized by the teacher and president. The appellation for my
What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this?
Well, if what he threw wasn't a pistol, then there had to be something else.
At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking, right? Seems to be thinking.
Here, I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin.
Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene?
Alleged killer, Your Honor. Because if my client threw this away, it does not actually confirm that he was the killer. What the killer would have thrown could have still been something different, but... Is that a sword? I saw one of those on the late night movie last night. Great, a sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime with the defendant's prints on it. His prints. This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, that the defendant wasn't wearing gloves. Now, even though that's the argument I would make too,
the counter here is that the fingerprints could have been put on there earlier in the day. Doesn't have to have been right then and there. The prints could have been on even if he was already wearing gloves and then he threw them the knife. Indeed. Oh, Herr Forehead, you're forgetting 2 other things you've just proven. Huh? 1, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Walkie Kentucky. 2, that the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim. Just because he was holding a knife doesn't mean he was intending on harming the victim. That's a logical leap. Not to mention, just because he was holding a knife doesn't mean he actually killed the victim. He actually would have had to have shot him in the temple. Indeed. Never underestimate a Gavin is the lesson here. Then why wear the gloves? So the argument would be that the knife wasn't something he intended to leave behind. What'd she learn from him? He hasn't been practicing law for 7 years. Hey, Dominic. Yeah, he's fun. And Chris, what's up? Dazed and Confused. I don't find that movie to be nearly as good as apparently everybody else does. High school was so significantly different for me, and I think most people my age, that it was actually pretty hard to relate to the overall ridiculousness of some of the shit they were going through. I didn't find it interesting. There's very little comedic about it. The person that, like, the situation that kind of hit home the most is McConaughey's character, because there's always that creepy fucking guy, right? No matter what time frame we're talking about, there's that creepy guy who's hanging around people way too young. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yo, what's up, Tash? Yeah, I'm actually really liking this game so far. It's exceeding my expectations. Completion of the playthrough. Oh, you're trying to get 120 stars? I only did that for the first time on this channel a couple years ago. I'd only ever gotten up to like 118 before. The show? It's a movie, Volpe. It's a very popular older movie. When was it released? 80 something, right? 80s? Yeah, the paddling, I'm just like, this is fucking stupid. And maybe back in the day, that was more of a thing that happened. And I get why people who are 10 to 15, 20 years older than me are like, would find that a lot, you know, for them that was a lot better because they could relate to it a lot more. I watched it and thought, this is absurd. And not in like a funny way. If something's going to be absurd, it has to be in either a really funny or like absolutely awesome way. Like The Expendables or Machete. This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please. Oh, I see. Is he licking his hand so that he can turn the page? Doesn't even look like he's licking his hand, though. It looks like he knows his lips are moist, So he's touching his to moisten his hand ever so slightly with his moist lips. Oh, was it 93? Oh shit. I thought it was an 80s movie. I was wrong. Yeah, it is popular with older crowds at least. Just go Google it, Volpe. You'll see a lot about it. 4 hours. That's really good. I'm going to try speedrunning 16 Star at some point. And then maybe 120 if I get any good at it. That game always looked... That's why I love watching Cheese. Speedrunning Mario 64 is one of the more impressive speedruns I've ever seen. 120 especially. Moist lips. Does he have blue hair? Oh yeah, you're right, he does. Huh. Wouldn't have expected that.
It is always the same with you people. Mark left the house on floor 5. 5 minutes later, his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming! Yes, that's what I said. Assuming. As if that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are, assuming that my assumption is no better.
Generally, I would agree with you, Metal Mario. One game that I can think of where I don't think that's the case is a game I speedrun, which is Mega Man X. I think the any percent run is a lot more interesting because there's a lot more RNG that you have to deal with. So you're on the edge of your seat a lot more. Whereas once you get the Hadoken, as long as you execute correctly, it should end the same way every time. I play the 100% route because it's easier than the any percent route. I'm just not good enough to do the any percent route fast. What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired. It's not that they're technically inadmissible, it's that you take them for what they're worth, which is not very much, right? Or not at all.
I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cellular phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else.
Why didn't you chase the killer?
He was, as you say, a killer. Of course I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, this takes more than an aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that.
Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? Do we not also know that there was no one else there? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not? Does it not, Mr. Justice? I'd better find a way to take this testimony down quick. Gavin is not very good as a prosecutor so far. He argues in much the same way as Edgeworth without being as convincing as Edgeworth because he tends to be a little more basic with his presentation. And when you have a bad argument, you can't be basic. I don't like that they won't let you like skip the text like this until after you've seen it already, which doesn't make sense in this testimony part because we've already seen what he said. Okay, I thought that was a long shot, but I was like, yeah, let's just see if I can get this out of the way. Fuck! Okay, now let's actually dig a little deeper into it. Wait, I didn't... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I didn't examine these. Should probably do that real quick. Ooh, hey, what? Don't zoom in! Get enough of that. Till the police arrived 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Okay. Which way did the killer run?
By that time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran in the opposite direction.
That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kitaki mansion. Achtung. Oh, action? Is that what he's saying? Don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight. How do you know that's where I was going? You wouldn't be able to interrupt your cross-examination like that. Just saying something like that. There's no objection. There was nothing. He was just... Ugh. Later, small marshmallow. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging. Why, you were examining a pair of bloomers in my courtroom. Grow up, Your Honor. Not looking for fun. I think that'd be fun, Dominic. That idea. I don't know what that word is. Acton? Acton? Acton. I see. So it's action, but in German. I've never heard that before. Oh, caution? Interesting. Claire. You were certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing.
If one is to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood, nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that one drops one's flask from the lab upon the lab room floor.
Ooh, cool answer. Very cool.
so nothing strange about how he acted. Stare. Lucy looks like she has something to say. Then say it! Don't just sit there and stare at me. Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance?
It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there was no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, what perfect syllogism. Is it syllogism? Or syllogism? I think it's syllogism, right? The proof in 3 parts, exquisite, simply exquisite.
Actually looks like he's going to cry. There. Can you tell us in detail about these 10 minutes?
I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction.
Is that all?
No one came, nothing happened, nothing at all. I saw no, which is to say, I saw nothing.
It was late at night. It's not odd to think there would be few people around in the park. We just stood there watching? Not much to go on there. Stare. Trucy, if you got something to say, by all means say it. I can't find a single problem with that testimony. Had enough at last, Herr Forehead? Maybe it's time to back off a bit? The defense still has some questions that demand answers, Your Honor. Your opinion, prosecuted Gavin. Oh, let him play attorney until he's satisfied, I'd say. I'll amuse myself by composing my next smash hit in my head. Very well, you may continue with the cross-examination. I don't think there's anything we can do until Trucy says what she needs to say. They don't have enough to put Walkie away yet. Should I back off for now? There's nothing fishy about that testimony at all. Appears there are no objection to the witness's current testimony. There are any number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion. No! No! Jesus. Seems we've come to the end of the line here. Oh, that can't be all. How unfortunate. It seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you here, Forehead? I believe this brings the cross-examination to a close. This court will now declare a verdict for the defendant, Walkie Kentucky. Trucy! Nobody move. Well, what's the meaning of this? Who are you? There will be no verdict in this court, not yet. Wait, are you one of the Kitakis? The Kitakis? You mean the notorious gangsters? If you don't want to see me give the pretty little girl a new smile, do as I say. Adjourn the court for 20 minutes. What? This court will not bow to the pressure from the likes of... Here, Judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman. Recess 20 minutes, or I promise you'll regret it. Wait! How'd he disappear so fast? Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo! I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man.
Trucy! Trucy? You move quick, Apollo. Good show, good show. Trucy, you're okay. I thought... Don't cry, Apollo. Those good-for-nothing gangsters. There's some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Wait, just calm down, Apollo. Or else...
I don't have to explain why this is absolutely absurd, right? He has no legs! That cape has to, like, drag on the floor, right? Otherwise it doesn't work. Not to mention she's doing that right in front of the bailiff there. But then again, he doesn't have eyes to be able to see anything anyways. Yeah, you could say that. Chat box? Block something? Oh, this is very illegal. I didn't even mean to. That just happened to work out, right? The voice just kind of lined up that way. Yeah, this is a good track. Uh-oh. If you guys want to see it. Oh, wait. That's the... That's the face. Sarah, yes, we're playing Jackbox now, right? Yeah. That's true. That's a really good point. They were able to conceal themselves with just a trench coat and a fedora. Yes, Mike, it is safe to assume here. It is very safe to assume. I gotta admit, didn't see that coming. This is highly illegal, but considering we were all stupid enough to fall for it, I call it even, as long as nobody ever reveals what happened today. You cannot technically kidnap yourself in general.
Surprised? This is one of my best tricks, the amazing Mr. Hat.
I, like, naturally started to go into the Mr. Garrison.
This is one of my best tricks, the amazing Mr. Hat. You look marvelous, darling. He's a big hit on stage at the Wonder Bar. Yes, I am. I'm a big hit. Ha ha ha. Oh, what do you think? You like it? You mean you? Trucy, there are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Apollo, now's not the time to be threatening me. It's you who's being threatened here. Huh? Remember what you said to Walkie's father yesterday? You promised you'd save his son. But that testimony was rock solid. What are you suggesting I do? Look, once the judge declares a verdict, it's all over. Well, except for all those cases with my dad where there was a verdict declared, but then it was able to be overturned anyways. If I could use my talent to stop that from happening, I will. Trucy, no more stage abductions, please. I'm not talking about magic, Apollo. I know when the witness isn't confident. I can perceive what he's feeling. It might not mean anything, but it's all we've got. You can see what he's feeling? Think back, Apollo. Think back to the times that there is a contradiction in his testimony. All the times. All the times there was a contradiction? I think I remember them, sure. There were 2 times when he made statements he wasn't confident in, and each time there was a contradiction. He said the man tossed aside a pistol, but it turned out he wasn't sure, and sure enough, there was a contradiction. Well, that's true, but how does that help us? Didn't you notice anything? Whenever he made a statement he wasn't confident in, he displayed a certain habit. In his hand he held... Oh, yeah. He turned his pages. Did you see it? The very moment he said the word pistol, his fingers got all tense and he fiddled with the corner of a page in his book. How am I supposed to see that? Oh, I can see it. Get good. How else do you think Daddy went 7 years without losing a game of poker? What? I always sat next to Daddy during big matches.
That's cheating.
I could see what his opponents were feeling.
That is definitely cheating. You mean that's how Mr. Wright won all those games?
It's not cheating officially. I wasn't looking at their hands or anything.
Yeah. Okay, that's one way to rationalize it.
I wasn't there all the time either. Daddy's quite good at poker after all, but not good enough to go undefeated that long.
Great, so he cheated. But what does that do for us? I don't believe this.
You have to listen to his testimony one more time. No, scratch that. You have to watch his testimony, perceive the truth.
Watch a testimony, perceive the truth? The only thing I'm perceiving is that I'm gonna lose.
Not true. Daddy said so. He said you have the power, Apollo.
Mr. Wright said that? Watch the testimony, perceive his true feelings. Is she serious?
Time's up. Sorry, I can't think of any other way out of this one, Apollo.
What was that she said before the trial started? No. No, it wouldn't be admissible to just say, I can tell that he's lying because of ESP. You just have to try to goad it out of him. Well, methods aside, she did avoid one guilty verdict already today. Time to show this court what I'm made of. Get ready for justice. Let's do it.
Apollo!
You know, I'm starting to think I can do this.
I knew you could do it all along. Oh, one more thing. Try to cover for Mr. Hat as best you can. I just flew...
Just wanted to do the Garrison voice.
I just flew in from the coast and boy, are my arms tired.
I would just like to make my official stance this. That is possibly the worst joke you could ever
adapt, overcome.
Or perhaps lamest is the correct. Lamest joke you could ever make. Yo, what's up, Pudge? Sorry, guys, I'm just cringing at these jokes here. Hey, where are you? There you are.
Thank you to Pudge007 for the raid. Let's see who all came in here with the raid. Mariano, Jackrabbit, Pudge himself. Is that Ratsy? Ratsy Patsy? EXP Story Gamers. Vile, what's up, dude? How's everybody doing? For those of you that don't know Pudge, just posted his YouTube channel. Make sure to go check him out. He's a variety streamer that is a very skilled gamer. Plays a lot of like extreme modes and stuff like that. Metal Gear. Also is a big Mega Man fan. So for those that watch me play Mega Man, you will enjoy Pudge just as much. So make sure to go check him out. Show him some love for throwing the raid our way.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Can't tell even labor jokes. I bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he had laced them with, but I was tripping all day. It's Mike. The dad I aspire to be. Super Nintendo? Chrono Trigger, nice, nice. I really want to play Chrono Trigger again. It's been so long since I played it. I'll probably check out your VOD. I love watching people play that game. It's a fantastic game. Thank you, EXP Story Gamers, for the follow or for the sub on YouTube. Also, thank you to Nerve High of the Master for the follow on Twitch earlier. Sorry, I missed that. Oh, it's on cooldown, Mike. Oh, it was a blind playthrough too. Well, first time playthrough, maybe not necessarily blind playthrough. Oh, I'm sorry. It's ableist language. I shouldn't do that. Yeah, I agree. If you like RPGs, you should play Chrono Trigger. At least give it a shot. It's so good. It's so well designed. First playthrough. Yeah, there you go. I think I keep putting blind in the title on my Twitch streams, and I think they're going to. I feel like Twitch is gonna send me an email like, your account has been temporarily suspended. And it happens, it happens, I guess. All right, so yeah, this is the fourth game of the Phoenix Wright series. For those that don't know, essentially the first of the second trilogy, and we are on case 2 of 4. A mojo. Oh, God. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping. That it's just the official tags thing. This still doesn't really matter what you put in your title. They are gonna hunt me down. Oh yeah, eyeball cripple will work out way better than blind. Chrono Cross is really good. I actually played Chrono Cross before I ever played Chrono Trigger, because I didn't know Chrono Trigger was a thing until after I got Chrono Cross. Of course, I don't have Chrono Cross anymore, which sucks because that's like a super expensive game now. Yeah, I know, I understand. You don't like want to have that issue just because you put blind in it, which is a descriptor. It's not meant to be offensive in any way. It's not used in an offensive fashion. It's in a descriptive fashion. All right, let's get back to it. Right.
Court is now back in session. Right, we're fine. I'd like to say to the young lady standing next to you, Mr. Justice.
Oh, you mean me?
Don't you have anything to report? Anything concerning the mysterious phantom in the silk top hat? Ah, right. Don't worry about him. I settled that. You settled that? Yes, it was an out-of-court settlement. Right. Perhaps Fraulein would have us believe it was nothing more than a passing dream. A fantastic illusion. Now you see it, now you don't. Am I right?
I think he's on to me.
I wish you would stop being so cool and dreamy. Let us dispense with these niceties and get straight to the matter. What are your plans for our gifted witness? Right. The defense would like to request another cross-examination because I forgot to ask something. There was no issue with the witness's previous testimony. I will grant your request, however. But this court will not permit stalling for time. Understood, Your Honor.
Don't forget Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book.
This is all different.
I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else.
I'm not sure I'm qualified to watch testimonies after all.
Focus, Apollo. His weak spot. Find his weak spot.
Focus. If only it were that easy. My ears hear what he says. My eyes see his expressions. Do I have to do something more? What other senses do I have? What's this? My bracelet! Oh god. How does he know it's the bracelet? Is it like vibrating on his wrist or something? What's going on? My bracelet feels different somehow.
I think Daddy was right. You can see it, can't you, Apollo? You're almost there. Find the weak spot in his testimony.
I know this sounds crazy, but my bracelet is trying to tell me something. Yeah, that does sound crazy. Then again, Phoenix Wright had a necklace that would allow him to break through lie chains. Aim for the eyes! Oh god, Mike. You know, somebody was talking about that, like, they're like, somebody mentioned about, like, the deaf community being, like, using that as a little different. I was thinking of, like, when that used to be a slang term for something that's good, is it still, do people still consider that, like, deaf comedy jam? It's deaf. That was considered a good thing. It was a positive slang. So if it's considered positive slang, is it still looked at in the same way? Because blind is a neutral descriptor, and it's looked at negatively. My man Bracelet Gucci. Yep. I can read it. Oh, God. Yeah, so BlueStacks is pretty sick. I'm gonna play all the only game I'm not gonna be able to play on this is the Investigations 2, because we need to get that English translation separately, right? Like, it's got its own thing that we need to do. So you can't, there's no real way to play it on as like a mobile game on this app. Okay, so what do I do here? Can I use my bracelet? I cannot.
It's this statement. But how do I use the power of the bracelets? So you called immediately after witnessing the murder?
The police undoubtedly have a record of the call. Why not check with them?
Wait, Apollo. This has to be it. Wait, you mean his habit? God, you don't have to show us. That was like 5 minutes ago. The only time he even had the book open was here. Which means this is a place to look for this habit. That's a very deep tell. I mean, like, not deep tell, but very obvious tell. Like, so telegraphed. Every time I lie, I open my book and start turning pages. Like, dude, what? I don't know how I know, but I know. Know what? It's my bracelet. It's different somehow. I can feel it reacting to something about the witness. Your bracelet? I'm not sure I get this focus stuff you were talking about, Trucy, but I have a feeling that trusting my bracelet is the way to go. Okay, I just need to touch my bracelet as it reacts to the testimony. What's going on? My mind's eye! I can see the witness's face's expression so clearly. It's filling my mind. I can see nothing else, hear nothing else. Apollo? I thought you said you could hear nothing else. Okay, whatever. Trucy, what's happening to me? This is what I meant by focusing. Focusing? In this state, you can see everything, Apollo. Everything the witness does. That's great, but this is kind of freaking me out. That'd freak me out, too. Just look for Mr. Stickler's twitch, his habit. You remember it, right? Sure, when he says something he's not sure of, he fiddles at the page of his book. You got it. Right now, you're looking at the witness's face, and your eyes are sort of bugging out. I'll bet they are. What if you were looking at him? What would it look like? Did his eyes start glowing like demonic red? First, move your focus of attention down to Mr. Stickler's hand. His hand? You know what to look for now, but you have to be looking at the right place. She's right, I can only see his face like this. I'm gonna try changing my viewpoint. Oh god. This track is actually really eerie. I like it. Perfect. Now you're really ready. Ready for what? Ready to jig. And a flashback to when I was like 9 years old all of a sudden. Ready to perceive the truth behind the twitch. Perceive. Try listening to the witness talk as you focus. Then watch for his habit. Right. You mean when he fiddles with the page. That's right. It's your signal to look closer to perceive. Find his weak spot, and I guarantee we'll be able to give him the royal flush. Spoken like a true pokerhead's daughter. I'm a magician, thank you very much. So I have to pay attention to his words and his fingers. Don't worry if you miss it. You can always try again. Okay. Right. Look out, nervous twitch. Here comes justice. What am I... Oh, I see. What do I have to press? Oh, I don't have to press anything. I see. So when it says ergo, his finger is doing nothing, and when he said I use my cell phone, his finger starts twitching. I see. I see. I feel like it's more than just slowed down, though. Wait, do I have to press something? Because they're only gonna let me hear again. Oh, I have to press perceive. I see.
Gotcha!
I saw it just now. I could see it. Mr. Justice, do you have something to say?
All this banging of desks is quite bad for my circulation, you know?
Mr. Stickler, allow me to ask you a simple question. Why did you fiddle with the page of your book just now? The very moment you mentioned your cell phone.
What are you talking about?
I'm curious now about the cell phone of yours. Mind if I ask a few questions? Ask what to ask. Ask first number. Oh. Mr. Stickler, please show me your cell phone.
Why? Whatever for?
Show me, and you'll find out.
Well, I can't. I don't have it, you see.
You don't have it. Mr. Stickler, is this your cell phone?
Yeah, where did you get that?
That's the phone from yesterday. Look, a cell phone. Blah, 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 blah. He used a tin can on a string. Not a cell phone. What a liar. How strange, Mr. Stickler. Can you explain why your cell phone is sitting here in my hand at this very moment? Wait a minute. What is the meaning of this? It could mean that you stole it from him. This cell phone was found yesterday in the Maractus Clinic garage. The Maractus? Wow, that's where the victim lived.
That's impossible.
What is the answer in his book? Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court, didn't you? Your cell phone is here. How could you have called the police? Ah!
It's true. I didn't have my cell phone that night. That is why it can be said that I called the police from a public payphone.
A payphone, so you didn't call on your cell phone after all. Just where was this payphone located, Mr. Stickler?
To be precise, with a startling high degree of accuracy, it was right around here.
That's quite a ways from the park. But why did you lie? There can only be only one reason. He didn't want the court to know he had lost his cell phone because it was found in the victim's garage.
Oh, what are you saying?
Mr. Stickler, you broke into the Maractus Clinic garage on the night of the murder. This cell phone tells all. This game doesn't know what, this universe doesn't know what discovery is. They tried to bring it up one time, and it looked like felt super out of place all of a sudden. I want a hot pink phone. I just settled for a hot red phone. And this white powder just started kicking in. His eyes started bugging out. I can perceive everything now. How did I not put that together before? Oh, the Great Ace Attorney? Sorry, Bio, went back to what you're saying. The recent Capcom leak said that they were going to localize it now. So you'll get that soon. Yeah, there is an English translation, but you have to, I can't do it through here. Through BlueStacks. I'd have to do it through a completely different program. Asking for his number also works? Oh, because he calls it or something? Yeah, having Discovery would actually make these trials a lot easier.
But that's ridiculous. That makes me sound like I snuck into his fella's garage to commit some crime. As though I would try to kill him.
Well, Dr. Maractus was killed that night.
Oh, yes, but no! This line of reasoning has to be against the rules. Yes, it's true, I lost my cell phone. But you can't prove that I lost it that night.
Well, Mr. Justice, if that cell phone was dropped the night of the murder, it does raise considerable suspicion as to a connection with the crime.
Now's your chance, Apollo. Connect Mr. Stickler to the crime. I'm doing Maya again. Now's your chance, Apollo. Connect Mr. Stickler to the crime.
Oh, he's already connected enough. I just have to prove it.
Well, I have a piece of evidence that can do the job. I don't know. Do I? Should look at this first.
It has a pocket watch, which makes it now.
Was he the one driving the car? You would have had to have, right? That's... Oh, that's weird. Can I prove the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder? Of course I have evidence, I think. Oh, I like your swagger, Herr Forehead. Hit it.
The court will see this evidence, Mr. Justice. Hit it, as they say.
Save real quick. Alright, later, Vile. Have a good one, dude. Take it easy. The evidence that proves the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder is... It's gotta be this, right? It's not this, is it? Stop zooming in. A switch? Okay. Wasn't sure if they were gonna have some weird, like, you snatched her panties. That's a side view mirror. As it so happens, Dr. Maractus' car was in an accident that took place the night of the murder.
An accident?
An accident. Just take my word for it. It happened the night of the murder. It happened a little after 9 p.m. just outside People Park, our murder scene. Maractus' car hit a pedestrian.
What are you trying to say?
From the absence of a mirror, it's clear that the car was parked after the accident, which means it was parked there after 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. If your cell phone had been dropped before the car was parked in that garage, then it would have been crushed. After all, it was lying on the ground right under the wheel. Ergo, Mr. Stickler, vis-a-vis, concordantly, the only time you could have dropped this in that garage was after 9 p.m. the night of the murder in the park. What? Don't ask Volpe. It's weird. Mr. Stickler, you know what this means. You did break into the victim's garage that night. This is most unexpected. Mr. Justice, are you naming the witness as a suspect in the murder of Palmeractus?
No, stop! This is too much! This can't be happening! Prosecutor, say something!
I suppose it is worth saying this. No connection has been found between Wesley Sticker and Palmeractus. That is, other than this. I believe our next testimony will be most revelatory. Is the witness prepared?
Yes, Your Honor.
I know that face. That's the face of guilt. Yeah, there's like no... He doesn't have to establish it at all other than this accident happened at 9 p.m. and everybody's just like, oh, really? Okay. It's good to know.
That night, yes, I went to the supermarket. I must have dropped my cell phone on my way back. And when I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand, all as clear as day. It was him I saw the defendant on the crime scene.
Yes, but your cell phone was lying in a garage.
Oh, yes, well, as you can see, my model of cell phone has a defect. It is given to rolling. It's quite a pain when I drop it alongside the road, you know.
Looks like a normal cell phone to me. In any case, Mr. Justice, the cross-examination, please. That's funny. My bracelet didn't react at all during that testimony. His nervous habit must not have been acting up. I didn't sense anything either, actually. Yeah, because he was nervous that whole fucking time. Looks like you're on your own this time around. Right, no problem. I hope here comes justice. Was not expecting that joke tonight. That would be very convenient, Adamski. Very convenient for a lot of weird plot holes in this game. He went shopping, which means you were holding a grocery bag when you witnessed the murder taking place?
Well, yes, of course.
Incidentally, the prosecution has received no report of this domestic detail. Mr. Stickler, can you explain yourself?
No, I mean, yes, I did go shopping, really. I walked around the supermarket trying out the free samples. It's a deeply spiritual time for me.
I'm sure the store clerks would disagree. Do you think sampling free food counts as a religion?
In any case, that night, I sampled to my heart's content and was on my way back home, yes.
That's when you passed in front of the Maractus Clinic?
Why, yes, that's correct.
That was a pretty suspicious pause there. Mr. Stickler, do you think you could be a bit more specific? Please show us the exact route you took on the night of the murder.
Oh, of course. The supermarket is here along the main road. My way home from there takes me past the Maractus Clinic. This is probably when I dropped my cell phone. Yet, woe is I walked on, unaware of my loss. And walked right into that faithful park.
Which entrance did you enter the park from?
Well, to be exact, one might say that I went in from the entrance closest to the Maractus Clinic.
The same entrance our victim used. Did you notice anything when you entered? Wheel marks from a noodle stand, for instance?
I've no recollection of such a thing, no. Yet, though I might have missed the tracks, I could not miss what happened next. I am a keen observer of the obvious, you might say.
Yeah, furiously sweating and furiously flipping pages. No dice, Chief. Not nervous at all. No tells. Couldn't get anything from that. This part of the testimony is key. I know it. Is the key. I know it. Should I press him about the killer, the victim, in the noodle stand, or the noodle stand? Are you sure you remember the killer clearly?
How many times must I repeat myself?
It was him.
That unscrupulous fox-like fellow in the defendant's chair. He was looking even more unscrupulous at that time, no less.
He does look a bit like one of those trickster foxes in Legends of Yore. I guess the victim's identity is old territory. Territory, time to ask something new. Can I do one of the other ones? You happen to remember the noodle stand?
Quite well, yes. For a student of the sciences, keen observation and healthy curiosity are vital. I remember everything I could read. Everything. I could even read the sign. I believe it said, noodle. Yes, that was it.
You would have had to have been on the other side then, which means he would have turned to the right to look, which means he should have been shot then in the left temple. For remembering something quite well, it sure took you a while to tell us. And thank you for telling us that a noodle stand sells noodles. Very enlightening. Well, Mr. Justice, what about that sign? Could that be important? Very important. The sign on the noodle stand said noodle? It appears the defense has just obtained a vital piece of testimony. Is this noodle stand's broth really that delicious? I'll have to go sample the wares one of these days. I think that's worth adding to the testimony as well.
Whatever sort of noodles that stand sells, I can't match up to IVU's cafeteria. Some apply to the school merely for a taste of our smart noodles.
Wouldn't mind a taste of that myself. You're absolutely sure the sign read noodle?
Why, just last week my professor offered me this praise. At least you have good eyesight, Stickler, I'll give you that.
He's an idiot. All right, later, Pudge. Thanks again, dude, for the raid, man. Much appreciated. Again, go check out Pudge's YouTube channel right now. Well, open a new tab and do it, just so that you don't the stream. Open a new tab, check out his channel, subscribe to him, and come back here, watch the rest of this stream, and then when this stream's done, go back and check some more of his stuff out. Just in that exact order. No deviations. Yo, what's up, Easy? I would also buy food at a place just titled Noodle. I agree. He's very much, okay, not very much. I'll say he's similar to the first guy in the first case of the second game, the first killer, where he was so self-deluded of his own self-importance. At least he's in IVU, where that other dude was just a bum pretending to be a pretentious hipster.
It read, without a doubt, noodle.
I see.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Is that pity I see in your eyes? I can't take that. Embarrassment.
Let's take a look at our map, shall we? Just take a little look-see at our map. Take a little look-see. So you're claiming that when you saw the sign, it opened up your eyes. Just kidding. Just a little 90s pop humor there. You were standing here, was it? Although it would have been a bit hard to read the sign from this spot.
You think so?
Mr. Stickler, I'd like you to please take another look at the stand and to carefully read what the sign says. See, the sign actually states the name of the stand's owner, Eldunes.
That's inconceivable! I'm certain that it was definitely noodle for sure. Positive.
I'm afraid your professor was wrong about that eyesight. I wouldn't be so quick to jump on that conclusion. The sign he saw changes everything. The witness says the sign said noodle, and he saw it right. What would you say if I told you that there is one spot from which the sign would be read the way Mr. Stickler claims?
What?
Mr. Justice, show us this spot. Wait, where's the... Oh. Is this a tree? Because then it would have had to have been, like, up here. Because, like, if he's here, it's blocked, isn't it? Because I'm assuming it's not on top of it, right? But I guess even if it was a tree, it doesn't necessarily obscure his vision of, like, from here to seeing the sign. Yeah, I think that's it. Because I think up in the corner is a little too out of the way. The witness was standing here on the opposite side. How do you know that? But when viewed from the south, the sign of the stand reads Eldunes, as we know. However, observe the other side of the stand. Oh, this side says noodle. Exactly. The name of the sign is split between the front and back signs. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court. You witnessed the crime from the northern side of the park, not the south.
You got me.
So what? So what? What does it matter if he saw the killing from the north or the south side? It makes no difference at all.
He's right. Travel far enough to the south and you will end up going north. Viewed on a global scale, directions are utterly without meaning.
Actually, maybe he's right. What does it change? It changes everything, Apollo, you fucking moron. Use your goddamn head. Trucy? No need to be so savage. Remember his testimony from before. Though to be honest, I'm a little scared of where this is leading. The killer and the victim are facing each other here. Then at the moment the killer raises the weapon, Mr. Stickler shouts, at which point the victim turns his head to look, and the killer fires his pistol. That's why the bullet hit him in the right temple. Truly a magician. She turned herself into one of those monoliths. Sends to her next form. What the fuck? She's become missing no.
Yeah, there had to be something at some point that was bugged, right? Maybe it's BlueStacks that interacts with this portion weirdly. It didn't do that for the other 3D scenes, though. Trucy is the contradiction now. Let's see what happens if we... Let's just, like, straight face her here. No contradictions, right? Right. But if Mr. Stickler was standing on the north side of the park, that reverses the whole scenario. Completely. If Mr. Stickler shouts from where he is now, and the victim looks in his direction, the bullet would have to have hit his left temple. Okay. Why can't I save in more than one spot? I'm worried that overwriting the... Oh, Jesus. Okay, good. I was gonna say, you guys know I don't like the judge, but I don't want to see that happen to him. No, Easy, you're fine, dude. I know you haven't played the games, so I know you're just kind of guessing like I would be. The white block virus? I am guilty of breaking the game. Judge will start haunting me. Yeah, like Phoenix had that nightmare as a white block. So yeah, it's emulated through BlueStacks, Volpe. It's not your typical emulator. I'm actually buying the game on Google Play, and then the app takes the game from Google Play and simply plays it on your computer instead of on your phone. So I think that is technically emulation, but it works a little differently from, say, getting a ROM. See, I wouldn't even know stuff like that. Like, if the save file would contain it. That's interesting. That's good to know. Oh, I didn't know you got timed out. Yeah, just make sure people know you haven't played the game. I know you haven't played the game. But not everyone knows that. White square aliens. Apparently you can Volpe from through this BlueStacks. You got to get BlueStacks though. I have a phone that can play this, but it's trash, so we're not going to try to use that for the playthrough. Whew. No, sir. In other words, someone standing at point K couldn't shoot the victim in his right temple. It's impossible. That's right. So now that we know that Mr. Stickler is standing on the northern side, the wound location takes on an entirely different meaning. Indeed, you're absolutely correct, Fraulein. What meaning? The entry wound was on the right side of the victim's head, correct? Well, the right side of the victim's head is north. North, But that's where the witness Wesley Stickler was standing.
Correct, so if he was standing to the north, the only person here who could have shot the victim in the right temple was Mr. Stickler himself.
Wow, that got hype all of a sudden. Order, order, order. Wow, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. She's flipped this whole case on its head while I was still figuring it out.
Clarify one point for me, if you would, Herr Forehead.
What now? Are you truly accusing this college student
Of murder?
No, I can't say exactly looks innocent, but something still doesn't feel right. I can't just picture him as a real killer.
Oh, please, look aside, look aside. I'm really a nice guy. Oh, my friends say so.
Yeah, this right now is Trucy Wright, Ace Attorney, who's not technically an attorney, would be the subtitle there. Always saves the progression in your story. Interesting, okay. Enable virtualization through my BIOS. I would have to figure out how to do that. I only know very basic things about my BIOS. I didn't even know what a BIOS was until my business partner built this computer for me. College students don't have friends. Oh, you have drinking buddies, not friends. Mage attorney. There you go. I'm sure you have some friends, Wolfie. You have some online friends, if nothing else. You hang out in streams? Let's hear what the defense has to say. What are you going to do now, Justice? Should I really accuse Mr. Stickler? Based on what they were telling me, my thought is that this is the correct answer. It really doesn't seem like he wants me to accuse him of murder, and it's not obviously no accusation, because then what's the point? I don't think Wesley Stickler is a killer, but he's not innocent either. His unusual silence tells me that much. Mr. Stickler, you seem unusually quiet. Tell us why, now.
The word confession isn't in my dictionary.
This, Herr Forehead. I'm afraid it falls to you to elucidate. Herr Stickler's silence.
Mr. Justice, you did say you were accusing the witness just now for a crime other than murder. Your reason? The court's all ears.
I know he's guilty of something, but what crime other than murder is there? Many of them. Do I have evidence that shows his involvement in some other crime? Do I?
Was he driving the car? That kind of wouldn't make sense. Something tells me this isn't one of those good silences. Something else to say, Mr. Justice. One more chance, but dude, he's the panty thief. He's the fucking panty thief. That's his crime. That's why he's embarrassed. I gotta show Trucy's? Fuck off, game. Either of them should have worked. Especially the one that was found in the trash can of the park. The evidence is this. What is that?
women's underwear.
Hey, those are mine. Smile.
Don't look at me like that!
Order, order, order! Mr. Stickler, while I can't say this comes as a shock,
It's not what it seems, Pythagoras is...
on the night of the murder, just past 9 p.m., a young girl catches a panty snatcher red-handed. Bravely, she gives chase, but the snatcher flees and hides himself in no other place than the Maractus Clinic garage. Aha! Incidentally, these panties were found in the exhaust pipe of the car there. Presumably, he was trying to hide the evidence of his crime. There go. While you may not be a murderer, you are guilty of panty snatching in the first degree.
Please hear me out, it's not what it looks like!
Order, order, order! Mr. Stickler, you should be ashamed.
It's not what it seems!
So are we to understand that you were silent not because you were guilty of murder, but because you lacked the courage to admit your theft of this girl's undergarments?
Perhaps you are not aware that my school's name was originally written IV. I stands for intelligence, V stands for valiant, see?
Your point?
I am not done. Now, I'm a major in the science department. And what does science teach if not curiosity? Yes, we of the IVU science department are valiantly curious. No challenge is too daunting, and what greater challenge than mystery?
Come on, you're talking about a girl's panties here.
No, you do not understand. Mystery is the unknown. The unknown is unacceptable. My friends, when it comes to mysteries, those panties are the promised land. From the moment I first laid eyes on them, I was compelled to investigate for science. A full-sized car tire was only the first mystery those panties revealed.
A tire?
Yes, I saw her do it. She pulled a tire out of those panties. But that's not all. First, there was the tire, then a stew pot, and a frozen chicken. One mystery after another. It was magic.
Oh, I remember now. He's one of the regulars in the audience at the Wonder Bar.
Why wouldn't you have fucking said that before? Huh?
He's talking about my magic panties trick.
Oh, the one you perform in front of all the old men. Okay, yep.
I just don't understand. A broom from a pair of panties? It mocks the very laws of physics.
A broom and a frozen chicken jersey? Whatever happened to doves and bunny rabbits? Mr. Stickler, you stole this girl's panties to understand a magic trick?
You say panties, but they're so much more than that. For me, they're an object for serious study.
I wonder, there's been a recent rash of panty snatchings in the area. Are they all you?
I'm sorry, but I did it for science! Each time I spared a pair of panties slapping in the breeze, maybe this would be the pair that would educate my mystery. Even that night as she chased me through the streets, I wept. Perhaps this is the night that I will seize the truth that lies beneath those panties. Yet what was I for once? The lazy heart band truth slipped in my...
Still, that leaves one thing unexplained. Ah, you refer to our witness's other lie, yes? The witness claimed he saw the crime from the south, but was in fact in the north. Indeed. Would anyone care to explain why he lied about that? Be my guest here, Forehead. Me? Did I not hear you correctly? Did you not say you do not accuse the witness of murder? Why then did the witness lie about his location at the time of the shooting? I have you no idea.
Apollo, there's something about the way the diagram is arranged right now. If you think about it, right near where Mr. Stickler is standing, isn't there a
trash can? Well, Mr. Justice, what say you? Do you have any evidence to show why the witness lied about his location? The evidence that shows why he lied is this. What? More panties? How many pennies are you carrying in your pocket here, Forehead? These are the last, honest. These were found in a trash can at the park. Looking at the diagram, we can see that the trash can was right next to where the witness stood. Mr. Stickler, you didn't.
Alas, I'm a failure as a scientist. I cannot unravel the mysteries of the universe. I can't even unravel a pair of panties.
Trucy means pants in Russian, really? So, these panties are your handiwork as well?
That night, I had been hounded into the Marcus garage. Weeping in frustration, I was forced to abandon my prize. Don't you see how I felt?
Why was he wearing the graduate uniform there again? Believe me, I'd rather not.
I hid in the garage for a short while, then, abandoning the panties, I made for home. Before the office where the girl works, I went toward the south entrance. When I saw them hanging there on the clothesline by the giant mansion, a giant pair of panties. Apparently, I didn't know who those bloomers belonged to. Those bloomers belonged to the mob. I had them safe in my pocket, ready to take home, when I stumbled upon a murder of Dr. Maractus. I reported what I had seen, but as I waited for the police to arrive, I got scared. What if they'd searched me?
That's when you disposed of the bloomers.
Yes, it was a severe blow to the progress of science, but one that had to be borne.
Yo, what's up, Max? Yeah, bloomers is a much... I don't know. Easier word? How are you not entertained? This is just as entertaining as any win in Warzone. This is absurd. I think he does wear it everywhere he goes. Yeah, how's your labbing been going, Max? Or I guess it's more grinding than labbing at this point. What's the next Danganronpa? That's Ultra Despair Girls. It's the spin-off game between 2 and 3. And it won't be too much. It won't be too long after this game because it's not a visual novel. I think it's an FPS. So like I don't have to take as long of a break in between playing this and Ultra Despair Girls, and then from Ultra Despair Girls to Dual Destiny or Edgeworth Investigations. Yeah, the FBI's already standing by outside. Yeah, for Smash. That's what you've been streaming lately, right? I'm offline grinding. Yeah, stealing them's going a bit too far, especially because she's 15. Yeah, I said when it was. A little bit after this, probably, but I don't know how long this is gonna last. That's why it's kind of impossible to give a timeline other than a few weeks after I'm done with this. A fascinating, if disturbing tale. I believe this brings today's proceedings to a close, and I'm more than pleased to dismiss this witness for the remainder of the trial. One last thing, if I might. Yes, Prosecutor Gavin, regardless of where we ended today, some vital points were made, namely that the defendant, Waki Kitaki, was at the scene of the crime, and he was pointing a weapon at the victim. One more thing, Waki Kitaki has a clear motive. Indeed, the defendant Waki Kitaki is still the prime suspect in this case. The only suspect, in fact, assuming there was no one else at the scene of the crime, yet a mystery remains. The location of the wound in the victim's right temple is yet to be explained.
The court requests further investigation from both the defense and prosecution.
Yeah, baby.
No problem. Very well, this brings the trial for the day to a close. Court is adjourned.
No, actually, the judge has been a pleasant surprise. Much, much better than in the prior games. Somebody suggested that in this 7-year time gap, he took all my criticism to heart. Yeah, I like Trucy. She's fun. Without being like, she's bubbly without being annoying, which can be kind of difficult at times. So you moved back in with your foot, but you're looking for an apartment now, right? If you don't find an apartment, are you just going to be there for the next semester? Who's my favorite character so far? I mean, Phoenix. Phoenix is way better as a non-attorney than he ever was as an attorney. He is triple S tier now. Trucy would be second. I do like Apollo, but I think I find Trucy a little bit more entertaining. She is arguably more confident. But as somebody did point out, her father's Phoenix Wright, who's fucking triple S tier, so I mean, it's not too surprising. How's the first half of the second case hold up so far? I mean, it was fine. The witness was... He wasn't the most interesting witness we've ever had, but he wasn't a bad witness either. Someone like that being the panty thief is amusing. And the way it was all explained then fits as to why he was lying. He got scared. One thing that's very strange, though, and I was going to comment on this when the judge was going over his explanation, but it just slipped my mind. So we've established, I don't think we established exactly what he saw then, but he's being dismissed. We found out that he stole the panties, and then he lied about where he saw it from. Did I completely miss where it said he didn't actually see the murder? He just saw the dead person and then made the call? Top 8ing every time. That's good. That consistency. Get that confidence up. Oh, gotcha. I mean, it's winter break anyways, right? Might as well. Right, because they don't know you yet. So they do it based on your relative knownness, kind of, right? Just based on your recent results. At some point, you're going to be up there. Well, because the game basically... The game basically finally acknowledges Phoenix's skill. They've been fun. I mean, I'm shocked by how popular the Apollo Justice streams have been. Just compared to the first three, I didn't even realize that... I knew people liked this game, but just surprises me just how much interest there's been in it. I fully expected the second set of games to not be as popular as the first set. I can see deleted messages, but I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, because if you delete it, it'll delete it in the YouTube chat, but on Restream it doesn't. He just deemed him unreliable. Okay. I mean, that's fair too. Just assume that whatever he says can't be taken into account. That's probably the right thing to do. That makes sense because it's so mixed. Interested in what I have to say about it or my reactions and stuff. Yeah. Wait. But I guess my thought was that I just didn't realize that it had as much, like, the reason I expected numbers to go down isn't because the game wouldn't be interesting, but because I just assumed that there's the first trilogy, and that's what everyone knows about, right? But does everybody, how many people that played the entirety of the first trilogy have played the second? I guess I thought there was a drop off there, and that's where I assumed it would have less of an audience. Just based on popularity. But it's possible that I'm just completely ignorant as to how popular the second trilogy is. Oh, excuse me. That's good. I mean, I'm glad the locals are getting back because now you can actually do that without having to play online, which, as we all know, is balls. No. I think this is actually a good place to stop because remember I did say I was going to end an hour earlier today because I have to get some work done before going to sleep for like 3 hours and then getting up, doing my unexpected tutoring day tomorrow. I have to make sure I get all my other work done first. That just gives the people filtering it out. Makes sense. Oh, 45 likes? What did I give out for? 25? I don't think I gave out for 30. All right, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet, guys. So I owe you for 30, 35, 40, and 45? Which is what? 200, 450... 750, 1100? Is it 1100? Somebody, Trap, you want to double check that math for me? Okay. There you go. All right, there we go. Got the 1100. All right, so just one other thing real quick, just while I have you guys here. I've been saying that the schedule for Apollo Justice was going to go Tuesday, Friday, and then Sunday, Tuesday, every alternating week. That's actually not going to be the case after I looked at the rest of December and the way the holidays and our channel traditions fall. It's actually going to be Sunday, Tuesday for about 3 weeks in a row. I don't think the game's going to be done by then, but it might not be until it's last week that it goes back to Tuesday, Friday. Like, here, let me just look at the schedule real quick. Next week, I'm actually going to be out of town 18th through the 21st, which I forgot about. So I can't stream on Friday, obviously, then. So next week, my only 2 streams are going to be Apollo Justice Sunday and then Tuesday. And then the next week, we have Christmas Day is on Friday. And one of 2 end-of-year traditions that we have on the channel is that the Christmas Day stream is a just chatting stream, tier list, whatever. We're just hanging and enjoying some light beverage, some soft and hard beverages. And then New Year's Eve, which is Thursday the 31st. Those that have been around for a while might remember that my New Year's Eve tradition is to speedrun Final Fantasy VII, along with dabs for every year, every numbered year after 2000. So this year will be 21, the 21 dab salute, which means that it's unlikely that I'm going to stream on that Friday, the 1st, because that stream is going to be like a 9-10 hour stream. So it's probably just going to be Sunday and Tuesday for a while. So expect that to be the case. Unless that Christmas week, I might go like Tuesday, Wednesday. But I'm pretty sure I'll just keep it at Sunday and Tuesday for the consistency. Ever done a morning stream? No, not in the morning hours. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining the stream today. Thank you to Pudge for the raid. Much appreciated, dude. Let me drop your more time. Sure to go check him out. Thank you again for the support. Getting 20 likes before even starting stream was just fucking awesome. I can't thank you guys enough for the way you guys have supported the streams. Like I said, I'm blown away. Oh, we have somebody to raid. Hey, I never get to raid Nin. Let's raid Nin. He's always raiding me or coming here after his stream. He's playing Marvel's Avengers. SOG or Soggy. He likes the soggy raids. All right, cool. So yeah. I will thank you, Max. Oh yeah, you do have the ability to do that now. I'll be back what's today? Tuesday. God, so weak. My week's all messed up. I'll be back Friday with Jackbox. With members, and members get to play, and then Saturday will probably be Warzone or Genshin Impact, one of the two. Just depend. That's gonna be my Saturday has been my unwinding day. I have it. I just haven't had a chance to play it yet. Lightgazer actually hooked me up with it. But yeah, hope to see you guys there for the raid. Otherwise, again, next Apollo Justice stream next Sunday. So be ready for that. Until next time, everybody, take it easy.